People are just people, and you may be coming into this video looking for how to communicate better with customers. But the bonus with this video is that you're going to learn how to interact with people in every situation in your life. And here's how. Number one, seek first to understand. If you don't, and the customer's pissed off, and you're coming at you, and you're just trying to let them know where you stand, you're going to make them worse, right? So when you come into a situation where there's a potential misunderstanding or miscommunication that's already happening, don't seek to be heard. Seek first to understand. This whole mentality changes everything. When you have a situation that is volatile, things are happening, people are getting escalated in their emotions, and you're trying to be heard, it is impossible to be out shouting, out yelling. It becomes a contest of wills versus a contest of solution-focused understanding. So if you come to it and you say to yourself in your mind, what is it that they're trying to say? It changes the whole nature of the conversation. I'll give you an example of that. I was working at Quicksilver managing a clothing line a number of years ago, and we had a very big account. It was a key account, and they had paid a bill, and the check had been cashed, but it had not been connected to the invoice that they had paid it to, and this customer had called into my customer service team, and they were trying to get help, and all they kept saying was, you haven't paid for the bill. And they're like, but it shows that I'm looking at my statement, it shows that you've cashed my check, and I know you have. And the customer service said, well, I'm looking here at the screen, and you haven't paid. Right? That customer service rep, whoever it was, is just looking at the screen, telling them what they see. They're not seeking to understand and hear the pain of the customer, escalated this person's initial response. And they got angrier and angrier because they weren't being heard. Eventually, the person came to me. And I got them on the phone, and by the time I got them on the phone, oh my gosh, they were livid. And I'll never forget listening to this person just screaming at me, a stream of expletives, we'll never do business with you again, you guys are worthless, blah, 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 just on and on and on. And I'm like, holy smokes. And I'm hearing what he's saying, and I'm just saying, yeah, this is frustrating. I cannot imagine how frustrated you feel. I am affirming what they're saying, just listening. And then at the end I said, well, let me help you get to the bottom of this. Can I ask you a few questions? Let me tell you what I think I've heard. And I restated for them what I thought I'd heard, right? And in the process of doing this, everything's settled. We found a solution. We fixed the problem. We discovered what had happened. And guess what? The customer stayed with us and ordered more stuff. It was incredible. We went from, I'll never do business with you again, to, yeah, okay, thank you very much. And orders continued, and we set everything aside. After you come in with the mentality that you are going to first understand, no matter what's going on, you're first going to understand the pain that this person's in, you've got to, number two, set aside your ego. When you're meeting somebody that's feeling combative particularly, or their emotions are escalated, they're telling you what they're thinking, and perhaps maybe they're wrong in their perception of what has happened, but this is their view, and your ego's in place, your instinct is going to be, oh yeah? Da, 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 and you're going to lay out where they're wrong. You got to wait. You got to let the ego die. You got to say, you know what? This is not the moment for me to explain to this person what's going on. The moment right now is for me to let them know I hear them. When you set aside your ego, this opens up your curiosity. This opens up your empathy. This opens up your capacity to hold what it is this person is saying. And then, number three, you reaffirm back to them what they're telling you. When you reflect back what you've heard, you let them know, I'm listening to you. I hear you. Is this what you've said? And then they may have said something in their angst or their anger, or maybe you have misheard exactly what they said. And in that process of reflecting back, hey, so what you're telling me is you sent it in a check. It's been cashed. It shows in your books that it's been cashed, but it's not attached to this invoice that you paid for. So we've lost it somehow. Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's exactly it. Okay, let's figure out how to find it. Yeah, they can get behind that, right? Now you're rehearsing to them what's happened, and they'll get behind it with you, and now they feel understood. They feel like they got somebody on their side, and they can help. You're now in it with them. You're in the trench, and you're saying, hey, I'm with you. Let's figure out how to get out of here. It's a really important skill. When you do that, when you reflect back, you begin to see the nuances and perhaps a new shape to the argument of what they're saying, and it really diminishes that feeling of frustration of not being heard. So once it's diffused and they feel heard, then you begin to offer solutions. You have to get to that point where they have felt that they've spoken to you clearly, you have not let your ego go in and defend yourself, they've been heard. And that point, solutions become available. When I did this with this customer, we discovered that in fact the check had been mailed in by a sales rep with no attachment to an invoice. It went to our credit department at Quicksilver, which was a $4 billion company at the time. One small little check in the midst of a slew of checks coming in. Nobody had any way to know what to attach it to. And it was a personal check. It wasn't even connected to the business. And so once I knew this, I was able to find the check through this guy's name rather than looking through his business. We attached it to the invoice. Problem solved. Everyone was happy. And it was great, right? And this is the real issue when we come into problems, when we're having negotiations in relationships, in business, in any situation. When we come in feeling like, yeah, but you don't understand me, you're never going to find understanding. That is why you come first with understanding. And in that space, it opens the whole door to all new things for you. And so the cool thing about this whole process that I just spoke about is that it works in real life too. So with your friends, with your family, any relationship you're in, if you can come with this mindset, hey, I'm here to first be understanding what you're saying, it'll change the whole nature of how you approach conversations. Sometimes I do it well, sometimes I don't. When you fail, get up, try it again, right? If this is something you like, I want you to stick around for signs that you are dealing with burnout at work. It's coming up next. Thanks for watching. I'm James Burnham.